waiting for better days, hoping that my actions speak. They made us sheep, kept us asleep, trying to make us weak. They tell us, eat this bread, sip this wine, and leave it up to God, everything will be fine. And I define divine intervention. There's something inside yourself that you've been missing.
Alright.
Hello. Welcome to Late Saturdays. I am Kato. Today we have with us Drake,
Tyson.
Tyler. Luck.
My bad.
Hey, speaking to the mic, Tyson.
Tyson.
Okay.
Nah, he's good.
I just didn't think I heard him. My bad.
want to jump into that Eminem is overrated because he's white.
Who the fuck said that?
Fuck said that? You said that.
Yeah.
I thought you said who the fuck said that?
I'm trolling.
I mean, just like on the all-time list, just because a lot of people use sales directly as a marker,
Is
which
it not-
it is one of the,
Is it not the ear test?
and he is like an all-time great talent. But I just mean he's ranked a lot higher than he would be if he wasn't a white guy.
So Eminem was Mexican.
His impact is so big based on his popularity, and his popularity is usually based on his demographic, which is
White people.
White people.
And the people that at that time were buying CDs were, junior high white kids, middle America, whatever. And not only that, hip hop was blowing up so much as a genre, and like as a genre, hip hop was blowing up so much. And then if your audience is mainly white and they're listening to a genre that's mainly
MTV.
African American, and there's one guy that's white, it's like, oh, I like that guy, more than just simple, just like Elvis. Like he even says, I'm the new Elvis or whatever. Like in a lot of his songs, he makes references to that, and it's because it's literally the same thing. He took
And he understands it too.
Yeah. He if anything, he doesn't. He knows that he took advantage of it, but he never tries to deny it. Like he acknowledges it. Just a lot of people are naive to it. They just think, oh no, he's one of the greatest, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying he's not. He's definitely super talented, and he's all-time great. But he's
disparity comes from
his numbers. His numbers are like times 10 if he wasn't a good-looking white guy.
If Eminem was M or Mexican, if you heard Eminem, all the things he's saying come from a Mexican person, do you think that people would still caught it the same way? Or you think they just would perceive it differently completely?
I'd still be like, bro, you gotta listen to this. This is hard, and that's as far as it would go. He wouldn't be
as big as he is.
as the Grammys. He wouldn't have Beyonce on my hood.
Even if he got signed to Drake,
he would never meet Dre because he wouldn't be a white boy from Detroit.
But Mexican dude can be Dre and still.
No, I mean,
but he just changing his ethnicity. He didn't say nothing about his story changing, G. So I'm just trying to stick with it. I'm just trying to.
Just like
the trailer part.
That's where you gotta have situations. You can't just
you
make a Mexican from a trailer park
in Detroit.
that
I don't
adds
know
to a
any
story.
Mexicans from any trailer park
In Detroit.
in Detroit.
He had
The
to say
thing is,
facts.
that's not a
He had to say that.
That's not
I
like
don't know
a
anybody from Detroit.
underdog story. That's
See what
not
he's
like
saying,
a. That's not like a underdog story that they want to portray. They don't want to be like, hey, this is a African American kid that came from. Okay, we see that. Oh wait, but this is a white kid that came from underprivileged beginning.
But you
and he's
Also handsome.
But you
And
are
they-
not the same, bitch. He wrote Stan.
and talent wise, he is good, but just rapping, is he that much better than Twista? You know what I mean? Like,
Is he really
As
that
far
much better
as-
than Twista?
Yeah.
As far as bars or
No,
lyrical
just
ability,
just ability.
Shit,
Just
making
ability.
songs because Twista
And then
also has
songwriting,
classic
he
albums.
he is really good at songwriting too. But I think of all his albums, he always had that first single, the My Name Is Real Slim Shady, whatever. That was purely for radio play. Like that was pure for MTV video play.
Produced by the guy who invented radio play hip hop.
But
Right.
who?
That was all the formula.
Dr. Dre.
Oh, but that shit hit hard though.
Yeah,
It was
he
hard
had a
as
couple of
fuck.
hits, yeah, for sure. But I'm saying it all followed a formula. He knew, okay, this one's gonna put me in the spotlight, then I have to have one controversial one. And then he also had the leeway to say some of the and do some of the stuff that he did that a black artist wouldn't.
Wouldn't even have a chance
Calling
to do. You'd
people
be
out.
done on the first song.
Talking about
Talking about raping,
I have a
pop
question.
stars and shit.
I'm pretty sure I was aware when Eminem first came out. So, were there any other white guys rapping anywhere close to Eminem, period, around the time he came out?
Logic was still.
I was about to say that, G.
Logic was still dropping mixtapes. I think he was on mixtape 15 at the time. It was still trash. And I'm just joking. Is Logic even white?
Not
Oh my God, Tyler.
Wow. It's not white. I always forget he's mixed.
Really.
Okay, alright. I'm just glad you. Okay.
Wait, there's one. No, there's none. I was gonna say Bubba Sparks had a top 100, but he wasn't. I was just trying to figure out if we had any good ones.
And that was even like way after.
And it was fake though. It was
Eminem was late 90s.
99.
And then he actually opened the door for a lot more
white rappers.
White guys on a smaller scale just to get their foot in the door.
And the hood white rappers. Like if you were a white rapper, you couldn't even try to pretend to be serious. You had to be somebody else.
Lil White with the 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah, Lil White's a goat though. Lil White still battle raps.
Lil White, I ain't never heard it.
Yeah.
Lil White still kills.
That's crazy.
Put him up.
But it's basically Eminem took think about Vanilla Ice.
But Vanilla Ice is garbage.
But so it was all based off image. Like even that's what he eventually was. His downfall was it was a fake image. But you had this white guy who was decent at the genre at the time or whatever. Just as far as
and I always remind people of this: no facial hair, very few manly features, and a voice most people can accept. You don't have a dude with a grizzly voice. You don't have a dude with a barrel chest.
Vanilla Ice.
All of them. Every white rapper you will ever see will never look like
Stitches.
Stitches is not. He's not even high enough in the total
pole. Y'all always say rappers.
Let's only talk about people who've made it to the radio. Let's keep it at that. If you haven't made it on the radio and we don't know your songs, we're not.
That's a good.
Internet sensations can't be that. They have to be somewhere in the radio for that to matter. If we're talking about underground, we can talk about it, but even Stitches still not even making a splash and other people are streaming. But my point is, people like friendly guys you can bring into your house, no facial hair, they're super clean cut, they always seem to have a military type of haircut, and it's very few that get away with like Yellow Wolf maybe with the other shit. You can have tattoos, but it has to be a rock star image. It can't be a good rock star image.
Or period.
I'm giving you the synopsis of like white rappers and those type of guys. Yeah, if you're gonna be
are obviously y'all fucking with me, right?
If you don't
forgetting about Post Malone.
Post Malone had to get his entire body tatted and took his gold teeth out and started singing country music.
Very true.
His
biggest appeal is like his crossover appeal. Like that's his biggest thing. Is like,
and that's my point. Is the crossover? Right now. You're either the cute, edgy guy or you're the cute guy. There's nothing else.
Rugged, prison-like white dude in the
fucking Action Bronson has a show on Vice, but his niche is that he has the hipsters. He's a cook. He's fat and friendly. He's super funny, so that makes him approachable. So if you're not that, then
they got to be one.
No, there's nothing there's no in between of it. You have to be that approachable, cute guy, and even that's what I'm saying. That's why Action Bronson is on Vice, all the way on the other side of the fucking planet of hip hop. I don't even know what he does, but he still streams well. He's on the biggest platforms in the world.
But he has a cooking show.
Yes, I was gonna say, but he's also a chef, so he has that demographic of that type of stoner view. But for the main stage, the kids, like you said, in middle school that still purchase albums off their fucking cell phones and stuff, you have to be fucking G-Eazy. You have to be Eminem. Paul Wall was never that big. He had some stuff. He had some shit.
He radio.
But he never got in the streaming era, so he got fucked. Like, I don't know if he ever made money like that.
She did start to get like kind of commercial, but then again, he had a duet with fucking Brooke Hogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they were trying to make him as commercially appealing as possible at that point.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
Even like Chameleonaire as good as an underground rapper can get. And they tried to make him like that. You know what I'm saying? They made him do like, you riding dirty, and they put him in all these fucking weird ass shit that he wasn't. He even said it later on, like, that wasn't me. I'm just fucking trying to make hits. That nigga was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he was known for.
Most like hip hop artists, sort of, they have to make like a big sacrifice as far as their image goes, or something, their sound, their final product on like their album
the radio.
Before, like, just for the record company wants them to have that mass appeal as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you're gonna have to cut your hair, or you're gonna have to change your image from gangster rap to like hipster or like whatever, you know, even if it's something drastic or whatever. Like that's way more common than people think.
I got a synopsis for you. Gonna flip the little question. So y'all said because Eminem is white is the reason that he achieved the GOAT status that he did, or made it easier.
I say the GOAT status, not the skill level, not the good albums he made, not the hits, because the hits could have still been hits.
So you're just saying the overall look of
I'm saying the GOAT status. The reason that people say, when you say who's the best rapper, and people say Nas, Biggie, and Jay, and then they're like, no, fuck no, Eminem's better than all of them. He'll destroy all of them. Yeah. And I'm like,
and the only thing that gives that any kind of legitimacy is that you got 10 million white kids
that can vouch
so
for
it's
it.
Like,
and the numbers can vouch for it, and all the record execs,
that's
and the
why
Grammys.
I say numbers be lying a lot.
And the game, and
right.
50 Cent.
And 50 Cent fuck you up if you go against Eminem.
And the game.
And the game probably fuck you up. Dre probably
I'm just saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like those guys. Think
but this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's not, but the argument gets way easier when you got those accolades to go with it.
Exactly.
And how he got those accolades is because.
Yeah. Is there any black GOAT that is only a GOAT because he is black?
Zero.
There's only a GOAT. Like there was a white person saying the same thing.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So Samuel Jackson was white. He would have
think about his attitude.
He would say nigga on his first movie.
There's no white guy that can accomplish like that kind of.
That's hilarious.
Be the only person, the only white dude that they get away saying nigga. Is Samuel Jackson
so
white?
If Samuel Jackson was white, he wouldn't be famous.
Nah, he
okay. So how did
if they let him say nigga
get away with blackface?
Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor.
Okay, he is. Okay.
Did Adam Sandler write that script? Seems like Adam Sandler movie.
No, Ben Stiller, his best friend.
Oh, same guy.
Kinda.
Adam Sandler is funny as Ben Stiller.
You said what?
Okay, let's compare shit to shit soup.
Ooh. I didn't hear what he said. So
I said Adam Sandler is funnier than Ben Stiller, but he said it shit.
I got you.
Back into my question then, is there any black rapper or musician?
Jay-Z.
If he was white,
Jay-Z would be as loved if he was
probably
white.
like Mos Def maybe. Mos Def capitalizes a lot on like
Black power,
African
type of
culture,
shit.
you know, like type.
but he wouldn't do. So say white culture then, because he wouldn't do that if.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he wouldn't be the same.
I really like his music though.
That's what I'm saying.
I won't say it until I like go in.
I'm just saying, like,
I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
The thing is, it's hard to flip it like that because the audience that they're all trying to appeal to is majority white.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like a niche artist if you're appealing to anyone else but that. You know what I mean? And Eminem, just off visual appeal, he's a white guy. He's already got the attention of way more of the audience than any other.
You know how many people won't even click on a link if it's a black thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like, oh, that is black.
Think about, I don't know how many people y'all know that are white people that are like, well, I don't really like hip hop except Eminem, you know. Like,
I know a few.
You know
and it's funny because I
think about it. It's like, okay, well, why? Like, why is that? That's
So
really, it's that. It really is because that's all you give a chance is because that's
it's
a white
all
person.
you give a chance. Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Another question would be Tech N9ne, because he appeals to a lot of white people in general.
He does, honestly.
But most people never seen Tech N9ne before the internet era. You never knew what Tech N9ne looked like, but you knew he was a good rapper.
Yeah.
Eminem was on fucking MTV.
Immediately.
I think it's because that
First
genre appeals to white people. It almost crosses over.
It's exactly. It's like screamo type of weird
horrorcore without.
And it's not bad though because Tech N9ne puts out good albums.
He is,
you know what I'm saying?
Good.
But there's a whole lane of Tech N9ne people who are trash.
Again?
There's a whole lane of those type of rappers that only try to do Tech N9ne music.
Whole lane of a lot of rappers that are trash right now.
Lil Peep, the guy that died.
Have you ever?
He had there was a huge following on, after him dying and everything. It's like, first of all, he barely released like hardly any music. He was only even on the scene for like a year or
No, I was gonna say, but have you heard it?
I've heard like
I'm not dick riding. This dude, I'm gonna say he's I won't go too far and say he's an Illuminati sacrifice for someone else that's coming. Because he's so good. Like, I was like, this dude's fucking super smart. Like, he's not just talking about... He was talking about some shit I fucking feel. You know what I'm saying? That depressed shit is me, for real. So when I was listening to that, I was like, this motherfucker really understands that psychosis, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He understands like that feeling, how to reach that part of somebody that fucking goes through that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I really like his shit. I follow everything on his YouTube, follow the SoundCloud still. I know fucking couple dudes, shout out to Chapo, shout out to the Tita. And they fucking for real fucked to him before I ever knew he was that big or before he was ever like gonna be that dude that died and fucking now he's a poster boy for fucking, you know what I'm saying? That shit.
So you're saying this,
I thought he was talented.
Back to that sacrifice shit,
but he was white.
I just think, him being a good-looking white guy.
That's what I was gonna say.
Catapulted him to the front, you know.
But even for me, maybe my bias is because I like that fucking that style of white person. I'm like, oh, that's impressive. I like that. I like it.
What also was that huge audience that was in like the emo scene or whatever that kind of like rap a little bit. He bridged that gap. So
yeah, I just cut you off. That's exactly me.
That's what we were starting. Yeah,
I was exactly right there in my life before I ever knew that's who he was gonna.
That's like Lil Uzi. He's got a big white audience because he blends, different genre music.
If Lil Uzi was white, would he do better?
No,
I'll put you on one better. Have you heard Lil Uzi's first attempt at being a big rapper?
Very first attempt, or like
you haven't?
The very first attempt?
Yeah.
No.
I know you haven't, but there's a video of Lil Uzi standing in a rainforest. It looks like, and he's wearing like a white tee with no jewelry on his nose. And I don't think he has any face tats. I don't even know if he has dreads. Might have little dreads, but they're not purple. And he's like rapping like a New York rapper. And he's like, not Lil Uzi, not even the dude who pretended that he was just a rock star in all these interviews. Because it doesn't make sense. The way he was rapping in this video, when you find it, you'll be like,
you can tell. I mean,
bro,
you can tell
this nigga
really
concocted.
Yeah,
it's the motherfucking word. It is not
for sure. I mean, you can tell. It's almost like he's following a formula.
It's the formula.
He's just,
it's working.
He's blending elements from rock, different rock stars throughout different, Kurt Cobain, Marilyn Manson, Tupac. Like he's trying to highlight different things and take different things from different genres and be like the ultimate rock star. You can just tell. And plus, he's got a huge team behind him now. At this point, all the money behind his hit songs, whatever.
Yeah.
Hit mixtapes. You know how hard it is to have a hit mixtape?
But that's what you kind of gotta have in today's type of society to even get to a hit album. Because who has a hit album that already has not put a hit album out in the recent history?
SZA.
You said who has a what?
That's bullshit. Cause she
has a what?
She had mixtapes, but it wasn't like.
I'm just bullshitting.
You said who what?
Who has a hit album out today in the recent history that has not put a hit album out already before? So like a brand new, this person put a hit album out.
Every year there's like a handful.
Yeah.
It's just who can get that second one and that third one. That's like.
And I always say, if it's a hit, it's cool. Is it classic? Is it listenable again? Can you listen to it more than once? Can I really go
classify
back?
something as a classic?
That it stands the test of time. That it's not just.
I was thinking about that earlier. So
it's not just a
test of time, bro. That's some bullshit.
It's not a 2007 song. You can listen to it in 2018.
But some shit gets played out by certain things that happen in time type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's kind of like the quality of like the composition of the music. There's certain songs from the 80s that were like hit songs in the 80s, but they sound, you can hear them and it's like, that sounds super 80s, it's like synth and all, it's like, it doesn't appeal to us. We're like, that we wouldn't listen to that. Then there's some songs in the 80s that were hits then, and we hear them now and we're like, damn, that's good, that's a classic, you know what I mean? Like, 20, 30 years down the road, it still sounds like a great song.
What's the Stevie Wonder song? Just say it again so people can fucking know.
Paradise one?
Pastime Paradise.
Jesus Christ.
That wasn't it.
But stuff like that, stuff that you can go back to and listen to. Like when people say classic albums, Eminem's, what was the one with Stan?
Marshall Mathers.
Marshall Mathers LP was so personal that it felt like you were like, oh, I know this dude. I met him before. It was a good classic album. Some of the other shit, it's gonna be hard to fucking feel what a billionaire talking about. You know what I'm saying? Can I appeal to it?
The continuity of an album, like telling either like if it's a concept album that like tells a story all the way through, or just the feel of it. It all feels like it just all goes together.
Lupe Fiasco, Food Liquor is like one of those examples of this is just classic. You don't know when it dropped. You don't know who produced because you don't hear Mike Will made it on the drops. You don't hear if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Because that shit has to go away eventually. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a
no movie.
offense,
it's like
but
watching
it's
a movie.
not classic because it's time stamping something. It's saying we doing this trap shit right now. We doing it. How we going? You know what I'm saying? And it's just you can't do it. We bringing in Cash Money from the 99 and 2000. You just can't do that all the way to 2018. You know what I'm saying? You can't ride swings forever.
Certain artists are known more for having those type of albums, like cohesive albums, and then certain artists have just hit singles, like
who has survived through time?
Plies.
Nah, with the hit single.
You ever heard of Plies fucking album?
You heard the song? Yeah.
Nope.
The first one.
Right, exactly.
You heard of
No, he's saying he's like a single.
What's the album name?
Like he drops singles and mixtapes.
Oh, you don't know the name of the Plies album?
Nah, I heard it though.
Plies is one of the biggest rappers in the rap game.
Versus like the Blueprint, or
albums I can name, like College Dropout.
Okay, but what I'm saying
they
is
probably literally dropped the same week. No offense.
Name a rapper that survived through time and still surviving today off nothing but singles. I can name at least two. I know one for
Fabulous. No offense. Because he has good albums, but you don't know the name of any of Fabulous' albums.
Wait. You say he survived through time only. What are you saying?
Through singles.
Doing features and singles.
Mixtapes. Fabulous.
Yeah, what about
mixtapes.
Easy, because you can't name a Fabulous mixtape until recently. All of his mixtapes have been recently that have been hot. From Summertime Fantasy, I want to say. I might be fucking it up. But it's the one with the girl with the red lips on the front drawn and like blonde hair. But
that is recent, damn.
That's like 2013 music though. But he's been doing it for 4 years.
I was just about to say Jim Jones.
Cameron?
Y'all missing the biggest.
Those are like
Pitbull.
Fat Joe? Pitbull. Because
Pitbull has #1 albums.
That's what I'm saying. His albums
like,
go.
We don't really recognize them, but
his albums they quadruple.
Yeah. Mr. Worldwide.
You sleep, Mr. Worldwide, G.
Well,
Mr. Worldwide. He can sell out the Wembley Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like he can do whatever the fuck
I
he
thought he
wants.
only had singles that was popular.
He's the YouTuber.
He's like double digit.
Can we look up
rap, whatever.
if he has any Grammys? I don't know.
I'm almost sure he's got
Pitbull
one
is
like on a feature.
He got it.
Way ahead of the curve on it though. On the singles, making like streaming and
You
shit.
know what's crazy? His earliest stuff.
He
like
was rapping hard as fuck.
He was actually pretty good. Like his shit now is just garbage. I mean, he's a talented rapper.
There's stories about Pitbull being one of the hardest niggas in Miami. Joe Budden.
His early stuff with Lil Jon, like he's got
but not even his rapping. They're talking about Pitbull as the human used to be
with the braids.
Goon.
It's always a nappy nigga with the braids.
He was a legit goon. He was like for real fucking niggas up. He didn't stay. He was like kind of Nori of his time in Miami, and people even then like DJ Khaled and them used to fuck with him. But he was the plug. He was the nigga that you got your bitches from. He was the one that threw all the best parties. Like, niggas just eventually hit their wave. And when that nigga hit his wave, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm out the hood. Nigga, I might move to France. And just keep pretending to be Mexican. Just pretend to be Mexican for 26 years.
No, Mexican, Puerto Rican.
Peace. Perfect France.
Cuban, right?
Either one.
Cuban, I think.
Cuban B.
I saw a deal where they were his dad owns like a pawn shop or something in Miami, or like some kind of jewelry store or something.
Wow.
Like that. He's got one Grammy. He's got one.
Only one
nomination. One.
What's a bigger tragedy that Pitbull only has one Grammy or Nas doesn't have any?
He won the award for best Latin rock, urban, or alternative.
What's a bigger? I really want your opinion on this.
That?
What's a bigger travesty that we know how many hits Pitbull's been on? Why doesn't he have more than one Grammy?
How many classic albums does Nas have?
Because the type of hits he's.
I'm just saying, Nas never had a hit. He never even had a hit good
enough. We're not
enough.
gonna go with a hit. How many classic albums? No, Nas ain't really hit.
Like I'm gonna say like 5.
5.
What is?
So you think out of 5, he should have at least one?
Out of Nas albums?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Out of
Every
5,
album Nas drops could easily win a Grammy. You could argue it every
by
time.
all the ones that was
Just
contested
because
next to it.
of how it was. Most of them were stories. Most of them had great shit in them, and they just weren't
But
radio.
no other
Because
artists
back
out.
in the day, that's when it wasn't. That's when it was about having radio hits, and if you happen to have a good album like Nas did, that's why he's a millionaire now and still regarded as one of the GOATs. You fucking his hits weren't as big as the other dude's hits. His albums were just as good as anybody's.
Yeah,
there's nobody arguing that.
That was like the big deal between him and Jay-Z, is that like Jay-Z basically gave in to the radio play appeal, whatever. Nas stuck, somewhat to his image or whatever, and
so you think that's why he didn't win as many?
For sure, he did that for like a solid decade, and then he finally basically gave in, sold out, so to speak, and then that's why over the past 10 years or so, he's been way more
in the face of people,
successful, like on the charts. But
you still see like
he put out like 3 or 4 albums that were considered classics, but that didn't go platinum or didn't do huge radio play.
And it was only because of, like we were saying at the time, Eminem and all those other type of dudes were killing it. DMX is on every radio station doing every interview.
Also, he kind of
locked
felt
up every other weekend
to like the Kobe deal, like Kobe winning MVP.
Yeah,
Kobe could have won MVP like 6, 7, 8 times, but he only won once. Nas could have won, 5 or 6 Grammys, but those years that he won, that he didn't win. Who won?
Something
probably Jay-Z, maybe Eminem. I mean, sometimes it
could have been just been some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
some random,
for sure.
Random
it
shit.
It could have been like a commercial.
Macklemore type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We forget those
Chiggy
dudes exist.
Yeah,
Chiggy fucking probably got 6 Grammys.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's the thing. The Grammys are accused of a lot too, especially in hip hop, is like going with super commercial successes that
because it's the right thing to do though, because we as hip hopians have to still realize that even just the fact that the black people are only 16% or whatever the number is now, even the hip hop percent is even lower than that probably. You know what I'm saying? Of the world, because everybody's listening to something. Apple wouldn't be as big as they were.
Hip hop is the #1 genre in the world.
It's probably the most consumed and talked about, but it's not the #1.
No.
As far as what?
We probably seem like it because we talk about it so much and we see it, but it's not even close to these. U2 is in every Super Bowl since the beginning of time. Name a Super Bowl U2 hasn't been at. I don't mean Super Bowl, it's Grammys, right? U2's been in every Grammys ever. Has it been since 91, 92?
Aren't they called the best band ever?
I don't know, but they're at the Grammys every year. Why?
Because they old as fuck.
No, they appeal to 67 other percent of those people that love U2.
Man.
I fucking love U2.
It is. It's kind of an anomaly with hip hop, and it's been like it's almost the same going back to like the '60s or so in like rock, but like in an R&B, a genre that's dominated and that was originated in black culture, but it's represented through financial sales, mostly through a different demographic. It's like white teenage girls dictate who wins the award for a genre that was created by African American urban culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really skewed as the, and it's not the only genre, like heavy metal was affected that way. Like when the first Grammy for, I think it was called hard rock or alternative rock or something, like the first year, and Metallica was nominated for the Black Album, which is like considered their best album. It's like people that like heavy metal, that's like considered a classic. But the person that won was Jethro Tull, which is like
this bullshit
rock band that has like a flute and like like this crazy shit, and people are like, what the fuck, like. This should have obviously won, but because of who decides it and what they go by, whatever, it was misrepresented. And that's kind of like what hip hop has been.
It's kind of like having like a boxing fucking judging MMA. Like today, people fucking hate that idea that you have a fucking dude who only judges people off of punching, trying to judge Yoel Romero fucking dodging 2 takedowns from a black belt. You know what I'm saying? And he just says because that black belt threw 2 hooks and Yoel Romero didn't do anything, he lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? That's just a simple fucking analogy, but it's just
Question.
It's bad judging,
based
I
on
guess.
And that's pinnacle of the situation. Why does the Grammys mean so much to that point of Nas not having any?
Because the BET Awards don't take themselves as serious as the Grammys. So they have a chance to make the Grammys bigger and bring in Jay-Z and make sure Tupac is taken care of. Or whoever they could have brought into those awards, instead they let MTV make them their little sister, and then they let the Grammys fucking father and mother them. You know what I'm saying? And they just stay trash. Where in reality, BET should have fucking made themselves Apple Music. Could have easily been fucking World Star Hip Hop. Could have easily been fucking Spotify.
Because it's all
because they were literally doing the streaming shit before anybody. I remember fucking listening to full albums on BET.com. And I remember fucking I remember they were the place to go. And instead of making themselves real, they sold out and they fucking stopped fucking doing what they should have done. You know what I'm saying?
They start posting no music.
Hip hop could have been a different thing. The Grammys would have been begging hip hop to come. You know what I mean? They would have been throwing awards at Jay-Z and throwing awards at Nas because BT be so big. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Drake performs at VMAs, but has never even stepped foot in a BET award. It's crazy.
He was there before he had.
No, I don't think I've ever seen him.
I seen him. I remember seeing him. I remember the year he was there.
That's crazy though, right?
That's when he had the single with Young Money, but he so far gone didn't come out yet. And they were like, "You getting that much heat, and you ain't even got an album out yet, no blood." Mike Epps hosted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'm
never seen
sleep.
him again.
But I really like comparing those types of things because it's the same thing he's talking about with the Eminem theory. It's just like you let people dictate what they're gonna dictate, and you end up with the little white girl fucking judging if Chance the Rapper's
album. And then also music executives, they pick who they're gonna highlight, who's gonna represent.
Who's gonna represent the label? Yeah.
So it's like.
I got a question. Do you know this? Is like Universal over rock groups that are big? Like who's over Ed Sheeran and stuff like that?
Ed Sheeran is with Atlantic.
So Atlantic is also have Ed Sheeran. That's the kind of question I want to know. Like who has fucking Adele?
Adele, I believe. I don't want to say that one because I can be lying.
But is it something big like that though?
Yeah.
That's my question. Like
even the thing is now, like even if they're with a smaller label, that'll become like an imprint of the major label.
Yeah.
Like the whole Young Money, Cash Money, Universal,
and that's what I was gonna say.
Goes back
so
to
how crazy would it be to give Album of the Year to Jay-Z or Nas ever when you always have a Adele or a U2 also on that record label, which is what we're really talking about now. Is if we're talking about the basketball, we're not talking about NBA, we're talking about USA. And when we're talking about USA, we're talking about Olympic gold medal. You know what I'm saying? That's the most money a place can make or a set of people can make. And that's like the Olympic money. That's when you get to fucking the Grammys. You're talking about, they're just only looking at that label as Team USA. And how many Grammys, how many gold medals can Team USA win? And they're not winning them with fucking giving Nas a Grammy. You gotta give it to the dude who's bringing them ships home. And that's Ed Sheeran or that's fucking whoever you want to name, Macklemore or fucking any of these fucking weird ass dudes who just pop up and they're the best of all time. But it's really just because their numbers are so crazy. You're like, his eye test is trash, but gotta give it to them.
Numbers.
Put him on Saturday Night Live and fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That shit's crazy to me. Damn, he's not spending that shit. So, just be going into the pinnacle thing, we can go back into sports. Why does it have to be a nigga getting a ring for him to be like, considered GOAT status? Because Allen Iverson got no rings, but
why do you go into the league at all?
Money.
No. I'm not saying your own opinion, your personal reasons.
Just to be the best.
To be the best. And what is the best involved? Like, what happens when you're the best? You
win.
Okay, so that's why championships are very important in sports.
I like it.
So I'm not saying why that's so important, but like, why does that have to be like? Okay, so people would say LeBron is never gonna be as good as Jordan, even though that can be nowhere near true. They're gonna say that just because he don't have as many rings as Jordan. Literally, that'll be their only argument as far as saying that he don't have as many rings as.
Yeah. Well, I think LeBron in his uprising as he's coming and as he has been coming for these past decades or so, he's gonna like completely get rid of that argument because of that. Like, I mean, he's not gonna win 6 rings probably. I don't think he is, and he is gonna be considered the best basketball player ever, for sure. It's already happening.
Because
people are
as for basketball playing ability, no one's played the game like him. You know what I'm saying? You can't do all of the things he does,
amazing.
How he does them, and when he does them. He also does those things in the biggest moments. He's also averaging the most blah blah blah, this, that, and the other, and always somewhere in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Where Michael Jordan, yes, got 6 rings and didn't lose, but that was 10 other years of his 16 years that he was losing in the first round or the second round and not winning. You know what I'm saying? So if you wanted to just fucking poop on him, you could fucking do it from either perspective. But the eye test, if you start talking about that, which people always, as soon as you start talking about how good LeBron is, then you always have to go to, well, fucking Kobe has 5 rings, Michael Jordan has 6 rings, and you start getting away from his skill.
So you start talking about accolades rather than what's going on in
I was
front of you.
fucking up. You can hear it.
No.
Oh.
I think a lot of people like attribute that like killer instinct to Michael Jordan because once you get to the finals, then everything's decided. It's on. It's one team versus another team. You're there. Fuck everything else. Like that's it. And every time he got there to the finals, he won. He didn't. He never even got to Game 7. I'd say there is something like to that. Like there is some killer instinct to that. No. But I mean,
your point.
So the whole thing with like why do people glorify the championships is because like that's a signifier. Once you get to that elite level of player,
what you gonna do?
Something has to divide. Okay, this guy was a fucking great two guard, and this guy was a great two guard. He made 10 All-Star teams, and he made 10 All-Star teams. He made blah blah.
Okay, so you said something has to divide them. That's what y'all said. Something has to divide them. It can't be the stats they putting up every fucking night.
That is true, and I think people skew the numbers or whatever. But at the end of the day, the point of playing the game is to win the championship, and whoever does that,
so that's just
they
the
have
point of that.
They have a notch in their whatever.
Because losing is not dying. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan didn't die often. He'd lose, but he didn't die. He'd come back, win, and fucking figure it out, kill his daddy, bet all his money away, get his team fucking fined, and whatever.
He didn't speculated.
Some players were victims of circumstance. They went to bad organizations. They never had talent around them. Blah blah blah, whatever. And they just never got there. But some people had the talent, and they just didn't have the either the mental capacity or the drive or the whatever, and
maybe even the staying in power. Like some people only had that 2 years. Right. Maybe Derrick Rose really had that in him, and that was it.
Some people didn't.
Derrick Rose was so close to getting the ship because if he could have beat LeBron and put that team together, that team could have competed in the West with the West. I don't know who won that year. Did LeBron barely beat the Bulls? Y'all remember?
San Antonio. Was that his last year in Cleveland?
I can't remember.
I mean, his second to last year because he lost.
He was in Miami.
7.
He was in Miami.
I think that's when Derrick Rose won MVP. LeBron played. The Spurs won.
Did LeBron ever have the battle with Derrick Rose? Because I think Derrick Rose actually got
in
hurt.
The finals. They played in like 2 or 3 years in a row.
They literally put LeBron James
because that Bulls team kept getting better and better.
That's what I kept saying. I was like, this team is so scary that like they could win a shit.
That's one of the last teams that felt like it was super organic. Like. That was another reason why Derrick Rose got that MVP is because people recognized that team was put together and he became the leader at such a young age and you could just see, watching the games. He was the leader of the team and they were kicking everybody's ass and that was impressive. So no, he wasn't scoring 25 and 10, whatever, but he was putting up a really impressive year. It is one of the more overrated.
Okay, I got a question then. What's more impressive? Somebody scoring 100 points, becoming, fucking all-time steals leader, some shit like that, rain, all this extra shit, all these stats over a span of 3 to 4 years, or somebody winning 4 rings. And I'll say back-to-back. Okay, fuck. Somebody winning 3 rings, fuck it, back-to-back. Which one is more impressive?
If that person is a star and they win 3 rings, fuck that other dude. Like, for real, you can't tell me what James Harden averaged last year, and you a Rockets fan. I know he had one of the best seasons of all time, and I remember it. It was fucking almost a triple-double too, right behind Westbrook. But it's so hard to remember the dude who was in first place that it's like, it fucking sucks.
So you can have as many as you can score 100.
Jerry Stackhouse used to average 30 points in the NBA. Nobody fucking knows it. If he would have won the ring that year, Jerry Stackhouse, fucking top 20. It's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? Jerry, you average 20, you average 30, and you fucking get a ship. You know what I'm saying? Only one. It only take one.
Yeah, it goes like both ways, because some people have so much talent they overcome never winning. You know what I mean? Like Charles Barkley.
T-Mac.
Charles
Barkley.
Icon and considered a
T-Mac
legend.
almost got one, and they lost in the Spurs.
A lot of people held that against them. But he was supposed to be like a counterpart to Kobe, but he was never even close to Kobe's level as far as like leadership.
They used to shit on Kobe so much, like, man, he never scores like T-Mac. I remember.
T-Mac.
That's the thing. That's the
Kobe
thing.
had 81.
The eye test, you would say talent-wise, damn, they're right there. They're neck and neck. But
Kobe couldn't pass like T-Mac at the time.
Higher,
so at the time, Kobe averaged less assists and less. I won't even say less rebounds too. So T-Mac had him on like all of that stuff, but people would realize that Kobe was fucking first team all defense, don't sleep. T-Mac was not even close. And he just wasn't winning games. It looked great, it sounded good when we were in middle school and high school to say T-Mac compared to Kobe. But then you get older, you start fucking getting a look at stats, and you're like, God damn, I'm glad he got to at least get in the Hall of Fame. Because that motherfucker. Because Kobe wasn't even a good shooter, and T-Mac still wasn't that much
but
more
also,
impressive.
McGrady was never in the kind of situation that Kobe was in either.
You mean like team-wise?
Yeah.
No, he got fucked. His 30 for 30 is one of the saddest. When they talk
Kobe
about
got
like
Shaq,
Grant Hill.
T-Mac got fucking Yao Ming. You know what I mean? Like, who got
No, even before that, remember when he lost?
When he was with Orlando,
he lost.
Never had
he never even got to hoop with
who was the second best
people.
player on the team. Fucking.
He came to the Rockets before he got the much.
Yeah.
He do the white one.
Hedo Turkoglu, he fucking never got to hoop with Grant Hill. He never got to hoop with fucking...
Tim Duncan was seriously considering signing with Orlando whenever he became a free agent.
Well, do you know why he didn't? You know what turned him away?
Tim Duncan?
Turned him off on that? Because he asked about family trips and stays for free, and they just said no. And yeah,
Tim Duncan.
To Tim Duncan.
He told you.
To Tim Duncan.
I'm one of the firm believers that you put Tim Duncan
Imagine if he would have joined
anywhere.
in Orlando,
Tim Duncan might still win chips without. He's one of those players I cannot fathom an NBA where Tim Duncan doesn't win an NBA championship.
If
he just has to. It has to happen.
If Duncan would have went to the Magic like in the early 2000s, they would have definitely won multiple rings because McGrady's better than any other player that Duncan ever played with. Like better than Parker, Ginobili, anybody else in the league.
Duncan's a definition of changing. I don't even know if he changed him or if it was
a better player than any other player.
Duncan teammate. Yeah, maybe Robinson, but Robinson was at the end of his career.
Okay, but I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
What about your boy Manu though?
By far better. Not even close.
That was a joke.
Not even close. Manu had hops up. Very slept on.
So y'all don't include like the test of time in none of this shit? Cause y'all say a lot of just, like, accolades that happen like kind of back to back. Like I gave y'all the theory of the nigga winning 3 rings and the nigga was scoring 100 points. Or that was like at the beginning of
most of those 100-point dudes don't play a long career. It just happened. Like you only get so many heartbeats in a lifetime. And most of those dudes blow their loads so quick. That's why I said you're gonna forget about most of your favorite players before you ever like. You know what I'm saying? Like before you start talking about them again, you'll be like, oh shit, I remember that dude. I remember Travis Minor.
We were talking about Paul Pierce earlier. And I was thinking, I remember when there was a time when Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker were like on the same level. And they were like nearly the same age, and it was like, who are they going to build the franchise around, or like who are they going to build?
28
Walker.
points a game.
And what?
That's the thing, that's exactly what I mean. Like, where did...
He doesn't know
their careers.
No,
is
but
like...
Think about it. He doesn't even know who... He played 20 years in the NBA, I think. It might be tripping.
And it's all about like how they're...
He played 20 years. He never left, right? He never retired.
Not 20.
Not 20. 16.
I thought he like just never retired, so it was like 20 years.
He just never signed.
It's just because he faded away. He
was
retired
for like 2 years maybe.
So what do you think make a basketball player stand the test of time? Just win the rings.
No,
It's like a number of different factors.
You kind of got to be a good teammate because you can't just keep a job
what's your
not being a good person.
What's your definition? What do you mean by spending time? Like,
keep
talking about them and stuff like that?
Not even just that, like, okay, because you're going to talk about them regardless if they're in the NBA for the most part, if they're doing good.
But I'm saying we're talking about them as a great. You saying like that? Like Will Chamberlain, we still talk about him as a great.
Yeah, but then, okay, like I gave you the theory of the three fucking rings and the 100 points.
Yeah.
So
only one person has ever scored 100 points. And he has a ring.
Yeah, and that's that guy.
What's that?
And he played for the greatest team ever. Lakers.
Basically, just having an amazing career over a very short span versus like a really good career over a longer span.
Like, what do you think makes that?
It's like a number of different factors because the organization is like the biggest one. Because if you go to like you know how many careers that the Clippers destroyed throughout the 90s? There was like so many #1 picks or like high first round picks that went to the Clippers that faded to oblivion because they just got, you know, no coaching, no development.
Bad training.
And then there were players that were lesser talent that went to great organizations, got put in great positions, and then they became solid starting players.
People even said they were so bad that the reason people got hurt there was because of how bad they were.
Yeah, like it wasn't training staff and everything.
Man,
that's like the whole.
He's come in and just stretch for 2 minutes and just hoop.
It's like in football, like Tom Brady just happened to go to the best organization with the best coach, so he became, you know, the GOAT or whatever. But what if Carson Palmer had went there instead of Tom Brady? He was like he had talent. He probably would have went to like a couple of Super Bowls and, you know, like so and so. But it's like it's like a chicken and egg. Like, is it the great organization or is it the great player?
Well, y'all be saying like Tim Duncan and people of that like stature. Like you said, you could put him anywhere and he could have won a ring. So they make it the person rather than the organization. Yeah. And some people that just override that situation.
Yeah, there's a certain level that.
You ever seen a star player with a neck tat?
Say that one more time.
Star player with a neck tat. You ever seen a superstar wide receiver ever get an NFL championship?
Superstar wide receiver?
Like outspoken, boisterous type. It just doesn't happen. It's rare that you get those type of people. So when you get like a
Randy Moss in my head,
you just didn't win. They did. They lost. I don't know how they did that.
21, 22 touchdowns.
Randy Moss just made the Hall of Fame.
He did.
Moss and T.O.
T.O. deserved it for sure.
Moss was the first.
The Eagles got robbed.
But what was the stats?
In 05.
Now Donovan McNabb is no longer the greatest quarterback in Eagles history.
Wait, Michael Vick was the greatest quarterback in Eagles history.
Facts.
Who?
Michael Vick.
Low key. You know who had the greatest game for the Eagles ever? I think it was
Monday night, that Vic game.
No, that game was the best.
Oh,
stats.
No, you talking about the New York Giants?
I think it was the
I was
Redskins.
gonna say that.
I think it was.
I was gonna say Vince Young because Vince Young came for one game and like threw for like.
But do y'all remember?
Like 100.
Do you remember the New York Giants one where Deshaun Jackson ran the punt for the game-winning touchdown?
Yeah.
But Michael Vick came back that whole fourth quarter.
There was one
like 31 points.
There was a Monday night game that year where he threw
Michael
for 4
Vick
and ran for 2 or something like that. It was. They were saying it was like the best Monday night game of all time. Like numbers wise.
Rings versus stats. Rings are gonna win if you have a star, and very, very few times is there not a star involved. Like he was saying with Dirk Nowitzki or the Pistons are the only two I think in the history. I don't think there's ever been a team that wasn't like a super team besides them.
Yeah, that's one.
That one. Maybe even the Lakers. That Lakers team was not that good.
With Kobe's second time.
Wait, what did you say?
With him with Paul Gasol just wasn't that compared to any other.
Saying like talent.
Yeah, I was gonna say just compared to any other team
Looking
wise.
back, I think
he didn't have superstars with him.
I would have rather had
the
Mark.
Pistons that beat the Lakers. The Chauncey.
No, that's what I'm saying. That team, it just wasn't. Those are the only two teams I can think of.
What,
the Mavericks and Pistons.
Multiple superstars.
Yeah, they were just really good coached and really good hoopers. Like everybody was good in Pistons.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Chauncey was the leader, but I can't really call it.
Yeah, because how many of them are...
That's the ego call.
Both.
How many of them are going to get into the Hall of Fame?
0.
You got, this was starting 5. Chauncey Billups.
See, yeah, that's my point.
Chauncey not going to
Rip, Hamilton,
The person with the best career on that team
Tayshaun Prince,
is
Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace.
I
No,
don't know.
they all
Ben
had their
Wallace,
own.
Ben Wallace had 3
He had some
defensive
ridiculous,
player of the year back, 3 in a row.
5
Yeah, he's
five blocks, 15
Then,
rebounds.
So again, I ask you,
Rip Hamilton
because they got
lead
one
scorer.
ring. Is rings better, like, more important than stats? Because you just said they're not going to the Hall of Fame. Not one of them.
Right.
But T-Mac is, and T.O.
But that's the thing, they're known as like the ultimate team. Like they were the best culmination of parts. Almost in every other case of champions, it's like 1 or 2 superstars on those teams. And those are the ones that are like, it adds to their Hall of Fame resume. And when it comes down to it, like the all-time greats, that's like Charles Barkley versus Tim Duncan. They're both all-time great, power forwards, right? But one of them's got multiple rings, and the other one has 0. So he's not even in the same league, even though talent-wise.
and he has multiple.
We'll have to say
Chauncey
sadly,
Billups.
though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
sadly,
it's like
it
if
sucks
he would have
that
been in
Charles
another
Barkley
situation,
doesn't
he could have just been decent in the league because talent-wise, I mean, nobody would argue he's one of the most talented players that ever played, right? But that's why they hold it against him. It's like, what? You never won a ring. Like, if you're that fucking good, you should have won. Like, you had 15 years to do it. And it's like...
You didn't have to take all that money, and you said you could have went and played with the
Karl
Spurs.
Malone is the number 2 all-time leading scorer.
Gary
and he's
Payton
got
stuck
0.
around, G.
Gary Payton got that G.
Gary Payton stuck around. That nigga traveled. He put his traveling boots on.
Yeah, he got that ring. Yes, sir.
Gary Payton is a GOAT because he has that ring now.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Gary Payton didn't get a ring.
With the
With
Heat.
Shaq.
With the Heat.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I was
Don't
like,
sleep.
because he lost with the Lakers.
Everybody forgets he went back with.
Yeah,
he left with Shaq when he left.
Yeah, wasn't Jason
He was
Williams
beefing
on that
with.
team?
He was beefing with Kobe.
They
I
had like all
remember.
kinds of
that's all they
Birdman.
have.
I don't know if Birdman was there.
No, that was
Nah, yeah.
way
They
out.
had like this cast-offs.
It has some motherfucking characters.
It's pretty
in that
crazy
team.
how the NBA's become like at the trade deadline or throughout the season, you can basically reset a whole roster. It's like a video game. It's like 2K now. Like as far like the Pistons, that team was together for like a solid 5+ years. They got better. You know what I mean? Like they meshed as a team, and then they finally won. Now it's like you can assemble a team the year of.
LeBron has
like,
lost like 2 25+ scoring point guards in one season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
one calendar year.
like one calendar year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you know what I mean? Like
It's not
the
possible.
Thunder, you brought together 3 of the top whatever players
Yeah.
just in one off season. The
It's crazy.
Warriors adding the best player to the best team. All these teams. It really used to not be like that. Going further and further back, like teams, the Bad Boy Pistons, the Celtics, the Lakers, they were made through the draft and maybe like one key free agent signing or like one big trade or whatever. But now it's like straight up just what do we need? Let's try and get another. We need another forward. We need another point. Go back up point guard. You know what I mean? Like halfway through the season, it's like goddamn.
If KD never wins another ring, would he still be considered one of the GOATs?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not possible.
Now, wait. If he didn't switch to the
It's not possible.
Warriors, stayed on OKC, did as many stats as he's doing now, had all these amazing stats, and never won a ring, would he still be considered the GOAT, and would that fade away?
He's so young. He could have still possibly won a wing.
I'm saying if he didn't.
If he would have stayed in OKC and never won a ring, he would have been considered the greatest player to never win a ring. Like he would have passed Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, whoever you want to say is the best to never win one. He would have went to the top of that list, and then he would have still been in the top 5. I'm guessing, all-time players at the end of the day, but he would never even sniff Jordan or LeBron or not winning a ring.
Yeah.
But in the public's eye, I think at the end of his career, him going to Golden State is gonna hurt, like diminish his legacy A lot of it is just like the social media age. Like people are, just wanting to hate, because it's like so easy to do through that or whatever versus back then. But
what if he wanted to go to Golden State, catch a ring, and go back to OKC and they hold him out getting Carmelo and Paul George?
Nah, he's not gonna do
What if
it.
it was like, you know what, I just want my ring, y'all.
Yeah,
Put back
but-
what it is.
Nah, I think
he would have been higher. He would have been held in a higher esteem if he would have stayed with that original franchise and just became. He probably would have been the all-time leading scorer. He's gonna be like in the top 2 or 3, and he would have been an all-time great. I think he probably would have won a ring there if he would have stayed. Maybe not with Westbrook, but I mean, we're talking about another 10 years. Like
Yeah, I just think the fact that you can even get paid like people are getting paid, he should have just not worried about the ring. Like, it would have been better for KD of all the people, because he was the second guy in the NBA at the time. He had got 3rd place in the NBA that year before he left, and he was the MVP. So he sold himself because all he had to do is just stay down, and eventually something would have shaken OKC. They have one of the smartest front offices in the world,
Yeah.
obviously.
I think Harden leaving made him think, you know what, fuck, I see this nigga.
No, it had nothing to do with Harden. I think it 100% was just his ego telling him, I gotta hurry up and get this ring before LeBron takes off on him. Because LeBron could have beat them again without KD. It was a possibility LeBron could have fucking pulled it off. But with KD there, it was a 0% chance.
for sure.
And I was rooting for him. I was like hoping LeBron just miracled it, but not even close.
That's the thing. Like, be it fair or not, like a lot of basketball fans hold that against Durant. It's like tipping the scales. Like as far as like he made Golden State so much better than everybody else that it's like people. I remember at the time it was like on First Take and stuff. They were like, "Is it the NBA even worth watching now?" Which is it's been true. Like it's the first time ever that the same 2 teams have played in the finals 3 years in a row. And we all think that they're gonna play a 4th time this year. Houston's Golden State's big. That's a whole other story. But we could all see that happening easily, right? And it's like, is that good for the league? Like to have a team that's that much better than everybody else?
I see what you mean. But he wanted that ring. Just with this exact point y'all saying, if you ain't got the ring, they gonna AI you.
And that's another reason why he actually might have made a great decision, because now he already has that off his back. So he could just take a break and just hoop now and just enjoy the game. Like, that's what he says he's doing.
So do y'all see Westbrook's rise in, output because KD left? Or do you think he could still do what he's doing if KD came back?
I'm one of the few people that think that Westbrook was 1 year away from winning a championship if KD would have just stayed. If KD would have gave him a chance to show that that's who he was, that's all he was trying to show KD. Was like, bro, give me the fucking rock and trust me and go get these assists in the corner. You don't got to be standing right next to me while I'm doing work. That's what I do. I do work, but I'm not finna sell you. He fucking still was hooping with fucking Steven Adamson as his second dude, his second scorer. You know what I'm saying? Adamson, Jesus Christ, who the fuck is Adamson? I'm just saying, I don't know who is that. Terry Crews. Fucking, I legit think those two together could have won a championship.
Yeah.
They could have waited, maybe not this year. Eventually, if those two stayed together, something would have shook. KD, they probably still could have brought a 3rd person in. If they would have brought a 3rd person in, not even close in the West, I think.
Carmelo? Or Carmelo would have made him.
Carmelo is not a cancer, but been killing niggas for a long time.
Okay. Imagine OKC and Golden State going through another 7-game series, and then LeBron in the East like sweeping a couple of
and
teams
just cleaning up
next year. So
might win another ship.
Durant could have beat Golden State that year, or if Golden State would have got through, LeBron could have beat him that next year in the finals. Like that would have shifted, the whole dynamic. But Durant going to Golden State is like no contest.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question. What would you equate rings in basketball to in music? Like saying this person got this many rings. I said albums because you can't do Grammys, obviously.
Why?
Because Grammys don't be picking the right shit for hip hop. I'm mostly talking about hip hop for the most part. You can go with other genres if you want to do it based off the Grammys. But I don't think the Grammys gonna represent.
Oh, okay. So like
for a certain
status,
for a certain
gold,
like
silver.
for a certain time, like reaching platinum, that
Platinum,
was
yeah.
like legit. But now
I'll say first to start it off to give you something to go off of. Kanye West is LeBron because his stats would say he's the best. No.
Say the size nigga
He
head.
put
This nigga head.
he put they both fixed their edge ups. Facts, look it up. And they fucking put teams together to put the best shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's put together some of the most monstrous duos of shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Just his samples alone are already the best, but just the fact he can bring in Travis Scott to change all of his drums on one album. Sorry, Kato. Just to change all of his drums on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just knows how to put the best groups of shit together to put it out, even if maybe.
Kanye is LeBron. Would that make Tim Duncan Jay-Z?
No.
Then who the fuck is Jay-Z then? If Kanye is LeBron.
Tim Duncan.
Yeah. Well, who is Tim Duncan to y'all then? Who would Tim
I can
Duncan
see
be?
that honestly.
Tim Duncan
I mean,
goes straight
just,
to because you know
like
he the
less
GOAT.
less
He's
flash,
obviously
you
the
know what I mean?
best.
Just
Okay, I
no
feel you.
flash,
Not in the front.
just
But you better
results,
put him up
like,
there. You
just
better
rings.
put him on there.
Duncan's got the rings. He doesn't have the scoring titles. He doesn't have the slam dunk contest.
But Jay Z's probably like
But Jay-Z
probably
has to be the
Magic.
Eminem because he has
You know what I'm
Jordans.
saying?
He has his own Jordans,
You know what I'm
pretty
saying?
much.
Wait, what? Jay-Z?
Jay-Z's Michael Jordan because he has his
Oh,
he has his own shoes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He has his own
Yeah.
brand.
So
He's the richest
so-
by far.
Michael
But
Jackson.
Jay-Z's
Michael Jackson, Bill Russell?
No, I'm saying hip hop. But no, Bill
I would
Russell.
say Eminem
Bill
is
Russell.
Iverson. Because
he got
Iverson was a white dude and
You don't think he won no ships?
none.
no, not
Bro,
that,
you
but I
know,
mean just
based
because
off
of like the
Oh, I see what
image,
you're
like
saying.
the
We
image,
need
like
like
he was like.
we need like a ranking system. You said
I think-
on platinum with albums. I just said
I
no about
think
classic
AI
albums.
is the
I don't mean just by rings.
DMX.
easily
Okay.
DMX.
Okay.
I don't hear that.
I think DMX had because the
Sure.
rings, like
Yeah.
he was so close to being the GOAT so many times.
Yeah.
Or Nas because he never.
Yeah,
got
that too,
because
but
he never got the,
Nas would have to be like T-Mac because you know he
Yeah.
was going off backboard, boom, and he was just gonna fucking not get a shit.
He
He's
never got the ring.
No.
gonna lose in the first round, probably.
AI.
Oh yeah.
AI
Fabulous
is
is
Nas
Vince Carter.
because he mixed up Michael Jordan. And
Oh.
Nas gave Jay-Z Ether. Mixed game.
One time, right? You win once, you win for a lifetime.
Hit the nigga with a beam.
Who else you got?
Yeah.
Who was Shaq be? Did Shaq be Biggie?
Biggie.
Shaq
Yeah.
didn't die too fast though, did he? Did Shaq die too early?
Shaq
He gave
got
us a
4
lot of
rings.
hits.
Shaq got 4 rings.
But he never reached his full potential.
Shaq is Ice Cube.
No, I'd say Shaq could be Biggie because he never Shaq could have won 8 rings. You know what I mean? Like if he would have worked out every off season and did bullshit with movies, Shazam and whatever.
Hey.
I'm just saying because people say he came in out of shape.
Last
He started coming in
Kobe
more and
said
more
that.
out of shape and blah 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 and beefing with Kobe, he left and this that whatever. Dude, he was the most dominant force. It wasn't even
How you
close.
think he would have got the 8 rings?
Either staying with
Oh
Kobe.
wait, so that would
Yeah.
that would make him.
You think they would
It's
have 8
Pac
rings?
If Kobe
bro?
and-
Kobe's Tupac.
If Kobe and Shaq
Oh,
stayed
yeah.
together, best friends,
Kobe was out
Jordan
there
and
just
Pippen.
Pull it,
You know what I'm saying? If
No,
they did that, if Shaq and Kobe
Yeah, exactly.
did the
They
Jordan
could've
and Pippen
went-
thing,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Shaq and
oh
Kobe
my
could have won
God.
another 2 at least.
at least, very least.
Shaq ventured out and did movies, right? Tupac ventured out and did movies. Who was the other nigga I said?
Eminem
Kobe
did it,
didn't do
man.
movies. Kobe
Big
did
L?
random commercial shit, but
Ice Cube.
Kobe got
has
out.
done more movies than
Biggie
anybody.
did
I'd say.
commercials. I mean,
So,
Biggie did
yeah.
movies.
Who's Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg would have to be Snoop
Vince
Dogg has to
Carter.
be a GOAT.
Vince
So.
Carter.
Jamal Crawford.
No,
How
low
many
key.
Grammys is Snoop
No,
Dogg?
low key. Snoop Dogg could be Bill Russell because he's the oldest in the game since it's been his hottest. He stuck around and he got pretty much 11
I would
rings.
say Dr. Dre is Bill Russell.
Oh, Dr. Dre is
Yeah,
Bill Russell.
He's the
Goddamn.
Godfather.
I was gonna say Dr. Dre
Snoop Dogg.
is fucking what's the name though? Dr. Dre is Phil Jackson. Dr. Dre's the architect. Dr. J is Zen master.
Bill Russell was a player coach too, though.
Facts. All right, Dr. J is Bill Russell.
Semi-pro shit.
Facts. Put Dr. Dre in a Bill Russell uniform.
Yeah.
I'll Photoshop it.
But
I like that.
yeah,
That's a good
But
one.
he an LA fan. Don't do that. Too.
Who was Eminem, bro?
Eminem would have to be Larry Bird.
Ah.
The GOAT. He's the best.
That's true.
You could easily. No, because you could easily argue that he's a top 5 player, right?
To be argued in like the top 10, top 5. So
people argue he's a top 5 player.
Sure,
His stats would say, besides the amount of threes he had and the games he missed,
LeBron is Drake.
People really argue if Larry
That's what I was saying.
Oh, LeBron. But LeBron didn't get brought in by Lil Wayne, because who the fuck is Lil Wayne?
Not college.
Fucking GOAT? What?
Not college.
Oh, Lil Wayne's not college. I like
Lil Wayne
that.
is not college.
Lil Wayne
so
is not college. Lil Wayne is the definition of coming straight out of high school to being the GOAT.
Not even elementary.
Lil Wayne is Kobe?
Lil Wayne could be Kobe.
This is his favorite player.
Yeah, Lil Wayne could be.
This is his favorite player.
Lil Wayne might be, right now, I would say, fucking Westbrook is Kobe. No.
Nah.
Westbrook has to be Lil Wayne.
Westbrook
because
Kendrick Lamar.
No.
Nah, bro.
You think?
Yeah.
No, Kendrick has to be fucking James Harden, because it's a little smoother, right? It's a little more woke. It's a little more refined. J. Cole.
You seen that thing against him? James Harden always travel.
James Harden always travel.
Euro step.
Sometimes Kendrick hit you with a Euro step bar.
I can't put
No, but we're not gonna go over the fact that you said Drake is
LeBron.
Fucking LeBron.
Yeah.
Came in the game early.
Cause I mean his career has been mapped out. Yeah, like early success and.
Why do you think he put him in a track for this movie?
Drake never had to rap with fucking Eric Snow, which would be Gutta Gutta. I'm assuming.
Who's Dennis Rodman?
Dennis Rodman would easily be.
6ix9ine.
No, don't ever disrespect Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman would be.
Talked about that hair show.
Soldier Boy. Transcended. He got hits. Got a couple ships. Nah, hold on. Tatted.
I'd rather you say Lil B.
Lil B?
You got a following?
You.
Rodman got a following?
I'm just saying, bro. Freak.
But Rodman is more talented.
Talented. Can't rap.
Who's been that controversial?
Because scoring, if we equate scoring to rapping, we have to equate his image to his defense.
Who came out early?
I guess.
With a crazy ass image, like back in the day.
Maybe Uzi is Rodman.
Just too
maybe Lil Uzi is.
No, he can't be. He's not big enough yet. He don't got the hits.
Pretty big.
He got some hits, but he ain't got the hits. He doing scoring.
He got
6 Mafia.
That's too much. That's a group though. You want to hit like that?
Oh, okay.
The group is
6 Mafia is
the Bad Boy Pistons.
The Bad Boy Pistons.
Or the new school Bad Boy Pistons.
With fucking Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Or the old ones.
Yeah, because those motherfuckers got some ships.
I mean, a lot.
Hey, I like that one. What the other one you said? We didn't remember this one.
Yeah.
Keep that in the noggin. I like this.
Keep some.
We still
let's do some singers, bro. Let's go. I gotta pause this.
I got a question.